For years now, News 6 has been driving change, shining a light on Florida's toothless texting and driving laws. You see, Florida is one of only 4 states that does not allow officers to pull someone over who's looking at their phone instead of the road. It hit home a few years ago. A texting driver destroyed my car and put 10 staples into the back of my head. Year in and year out, Tallahassee politicians make excuses, inevitably killing these bills silently in committee. The question is, will it happen again? This year, a brand new host of leaders has taken over the state capitol. There's a new Senate president, new House Speaker, and a new governor. But advocates for road safety worry the same old system will keep failing Floridians.
Let us have our say and our chance in the legislature to send this bill to the governor so that it can be signed into law and we can keep our roads safe.
Sounds like democracy.
Democracy, a crazy radical concept, I know. Hear the bill. Hear the bill.
South Dakota and Ohio are in the process of passing their laws, so we're going to be one of 2 states. That's a big problem. So I'm hoping that we get this done this year.
State Rep Jackie Toledo wrote the latest House bill. It would make Florida a hands-free state, but it's been delayed in committee for more than 3 weeks. So I went to Tallahassee to find out why. Can you guarantee, as the Speaker of the House this year, that these bills will come up in committee and actually be discussed and fleshed out?
We have 120 members in the House. No one person can guarantee anything. What I can tell you is I know why these bills had difficulty in the past. They were so linear.
The new House Speaker, Jose Oliva, wants the bill to focus on all distractions, not just cell phones. But here's classic Tallahassee. The chair of the committee where the bill has been sitting for weeks has the opposite issue.
Well, I think we need to make some modifications. Maybe going back to the prior bill is a good start.
Okay. All right. And I just talked to the House Speaker. He wanted to kind of broaden it into a distracted driving bill. How do you feel about that aspect?
Well, certainly, whatever we can do to make it appealing to the membership to be able to vote, to send something out of committee that says, look, we're putting public safety first.
But News 6 was able to get results. Before we left Tallahassee, lawmakers put the bill on the agenda. How high of a priority is it for you and the House to get some sort of distracted driving law passed this session?
It's a priority, but I don't think that it should require, if written properly, I don't think it should be a big lift.
So here's the big question again this year, the Senate. One senator killed the bill in committee last year. This year, the bill does not pass through his committee. But the senator who wrote the current bill, his name is Wilton Simpson, and he is pegged as the future president of the Senate. But no one on the Senate side was able to speak with me, including the Senate President, Bill Galvano. We did attempt it. So the Senate is a bit of a black hole right now as far as information.
It is so frustrating, and this process has really been eye-opening to figure out how one person really, can control whether a law that affects millions of people will even be heard. I mean, that's just what we would like to see is just let them debate this.
Yeah, one person who you didn't even vote for, too.
Correct.
So somebody completely outside of your scope. Pretty crazy.
We are continuing driving change. News 6 is pushing for results on our roads.
The state House version of a new distracted driving bill had its first committee meeting today. News 6 anchor Matt Austin has been one of the most outspoken proponents of the bipartisan bill. In September of 2016, Matt was rear-ended at a stoplight by a driver who admitted to police he was texting behind the wheel. He told his story during a Transportation and Infrastructure Subcommittee meeting today. And Matt joins us now live from Tallahassee with the push to drive change. And Matt, you say this year seems different to you.
It does. It seems much different. Lisa, I've covered a lot of government meetings throughout the years. Most of them are mind-numbingly boring. Well, today's meeting was the exception. There were tears, there was passion, and there was even some humor. It was a day of serious discussion that started off with a lighthearted joke.
Matt Austin, stay classy.
I'm not Ron Burgundy. Another opportunity for Florida leaders to vote on a stronger texting and driving bill. And another appearance for me, testifying not as a journalist, but as a citizen, pleading for safer roads. Right now, police officers can pull you over for speeding, seatbelt violations, registration, but they cannot pull you over for looking at your phone, which is crazy. Today's State House Subcommittee meeting is the 28th time a bill has been introduced to strengthen Florida's ineffective texting and driving law.
Using cell phones while driving causes 1.6 million crashes each year. That's one of every 4 crashes that are caused by texting and driving.
HB 107 is originally introduced as a hands-free, no cell phone use by drivers bill. But after running into opposition before even being heard in its first House committee, this year's bill was rolled back to last year's version. Some people understood the change.
The system in Florida is that you take a little bite at the apple. And it's the system.
While others were not as encouraged.
So why is it this is so hard? Common sense. And if we are not on our way to hands-free legislation, then we are failing as legislators and as parents.
But when all was said and done, the bill passed 13-0, with some members of the committee optimistic that there is more work to be done.
I think the magic words I heard today were, we're going to make several incremental steps and we're going to get to hands-free.
We will see about that. Certainly a lot of work left to be done this session, though, before any of that can come up. Still 2 committees left in the House, 1 more in the Senate. Then they will be debated on the House and Senate floors, and we'll see if the governor will sign it.
No one should have to go through the loss of a family member and then have to make sure that the person who took them pays the penalty for that.
A woman mourning the death of her mom killed in a traffic crash. Tonight, the man who caused it has still not served his sentence 3 years after the collision. News 6 first exposed this story as a part of our Driving Change campaign. Now, the driver admits he was fumbling for his cell phone when he lost control of his pickup truck.
He got a ticket for careless driving. The punishment for that traffic infraction is not severe, but so far, the driver has not completed his sentence. Tonight, News 6 investigator Mike DeForest is getting results. And Mike, what is the driver's punishment supposed to be?
Lisa, Daniel Lightsey pleaded no contest to careless driving in that deadly crash, so he lost his driver's license for a few months and he had to pay a fine. The judge also ordered Lightsey to perform community service, but tonight, 3 years later, there is no evidence Lightsey has done any of that community service.
And that's all we want to see as a family, is that he's held accountable.
Marsha Waldron is seeking justice for her mother. 3 years ago, Martha Jackson was driving through Polk County when her car was crushed by an oncoming pickup truck. Daniel Lightsey told investigators he lost control of his truck while he attempted to reach for his phone.
In 2 seconds, her life ended, and his, there's really been no punishment at all.
As part of his sentence for careless driving, a judge ordered Lightsey to pay a $1,000 fine plus court costs. Lightsey also had to perform 120 hours of alternative community service to be served at a trauma center or hospital within 12 months.
So far, he hasn't done 1 hour of community service, from what I understand, anywhere.
I'm working on a story about the careless driving crash that you were involved in a couple of years ago. What's the status of the community service with that?
I caught up with Daniel Lightsey, trying to find out whether he's completed any community service since causing that fatal collision more than 3 years ago.
Have you done any community service?
I thought it would change his life, and it hasn't changed anything.
The Polk County Clerk of Court confirms Lightsey has not submitted any proof of his community service. When violators ignore the requirements of a traffic citation, the state will suspend their driver's licenses. That means Lightsey should not be driving.
His license is supposed to be suspended until he does the 120 hours of community service.
I got a copy of Lightsey's driving record from the state. It shows right here his driving privilege is valid today. He's allowed to drive right now.
I don't understand how that's possible. they were supposed to suspend it.
Last year, after Lightsey finally paid off his fine, the court clerk mistakenly submitted a request to reinstate his driver's license. After Waldron helped catch that error, the clerk's office attempted to get it suspended again. But as News 6 discovered, that never happened. Lightsey's driver privilege remained valid.
We lost the rock of our family, and I'm watching somebody walk around with basically no punishment, no remorse, no anything.
Tonight, our investigation is getting results. After I discovered Lightsey still has that valid driver's license, the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles began the process of suspending it once again. Until he shows proof that he has completed those community service hours, Lightsey will not be allowed behind the wheel.
And Mike, there have been several problems in this case. This is not the first big mistake to occur, right?
Mistakes right from the beginning. In fact, 3 years ago, when that happened, the judge somehow did not realize that Waldron's mother died in that collision. Now, the penalty for careless driving in a non-fatal crash is much lighter, just a small fine and nothing more. The victim's daughter caught that error, so the judge ordered Lightsey back to court, increased the fine, and added that community service requirement, which Lightsey apparently has not done yet.
Just like added salt in the wound, though, for this family. Everything seems to be a battle to have this man held accountable.
They say until he serves his sentence, they won't feel that closure. They won't.
Yeah, you can see the pain on her face. Mike, thank you. I know you'll stay on this one.
The state of Florida is very close to passing a stricter texting and driving bill. News 6 has been pushing for driving change for 3 years now. Tomorrow, a Senate committee will vote on a texting while driving bill. It is the last committee it must pass in order to go to the full Senate. A similar bill has already passed all the House committees. A full House vote is expected next week. If both bills pass, they must be combined into one bill for the governor to sign.
Right now, we are waiting on the State House to vote on the latest version of the driving change bill. If it passes today, it will make texting and driving a primary offense. This is what News 6 has been working towards since 2016. News 6's Nadine Yadis is in Tallahassee today, waiting on the House to vote. Nadine, take us through the latest.
Yeah, well, Ginger, like you said, this is the closest this bill has ever come to passing. The state of Florida, one of only four states not having texting while driving a primary offense. That is why it has been a primary mission for News 6 in getting results in driving change. That change could be happening through those doors at any minute now. Now, currently, the House of Representatives is working through lunch in a rapid-fire session that could go on until midnight tonight, trying to get in debates and bills passed before this legislative session ends this Friday. Among them is this texting while driving bill co-sponsored by Representative Jackie Toledo and Representative Emily Schlossberg. Now, this bill has already passed the House once, and then it went over to the Senate to approve. The Senate, wanting a complete hands-free bill, came up with a compromise instead. And if it passes, this is how it will affect you. Take a look. House Bill 107 will make texting and driving a primary offense, which means officers can pull you over if they catch you typing on your phone while the car is moving. It also makes it illegal to hold or use your phone in construction or school zones. That's that hands-free component that the Senate wanted to put in that bill. We spoke to Representative Toledo just a few minutes ago out those doors. She says she's confident that the House will like this Senate compromise as well.
Do we think that we're going to have some more opposition in the House with the Senate's amendments?
No, I think it makes our bill stronger. It's a good blending of the two bills, and I think everyone's happy with where we're at right now.
And so, though some of these debates seem a little monotonous, you could really feel the energy among the people who've been really fighting for years, including us here at News 6, to get this texting while driving bill passed, and also including school board member Angie Gallo. She's here from Orange County supporting this bill. What she says about it coming up at 5.
All right, breaking live right here. That is State Representative Jackie Toledo. She has sponsored the texting and driving bill in the House. They are just moments away from voting on this. And this is so basically the House voted on an original version. You might, if you've been paying attention to this texting and driving campaign, they voted on a version, sent it over to the Senate. The Senate then amended it, making it a stricter version, making it so you had to use hands-free in a school zone or a construction zone. And then they sent it back to the House. The House has to vote on it now. And if they do, it goes directly to Governor Ron DeSantis' desk to be signed.
We are this close to having distracted driving become a primary offense here in Florida.
That's right. One of only 4 states left in the country to not allow police officers to pull someone over if they see them texting and driving. So right now they're talking about it. We will let you know as soon as that vote comes down.
Breaking now at 6. Just moments ago, the state house passed an amended bill on texting and driving. The bill now heads to the governor's desk. Good evening. I'm Lisa Bell.
I'm Matt Austin. Glad you're with us. It will make texting and driving a primary offense, which means officers can pull someone over if they catch them typing on their phone while the car is moving. News 6's Nadine Yanis joins us live from Tallahassee with the latest on this. Hey, Nadine.
Hey, Matt. Well, the feelings here at the Capitol, I'm sure, are what you're feeling inside your heart and inside that newsroom. This has been something that we have been pushing for so incredibly hard here at News 6, driving change and getting results to make Florida roads safer. And we are one step closer. This is the closest the bill has ever been. And of course, it's been a fight for us for the last 3 years or so, but it's been a lifelong fight for Representative Emily Schlossberg, a co-sponsor of this bill. First, how are you feeling with this bill passing?
Incredible. I mean, this is the first time that Florida is going to have texting while driving as a primary offense in our state.
Results in our push to drive change, a bill that toughens Florida's texting and driving laws, is now headed to the governor's desk. We brought it to you as breaking news live on News 6 at 5:30 as it passed the state house earlier tonight.
So for 2.5 years, it has been News 6's mission to make the roads safer. I was hit by a driver who admitted to texting and driving. News 6's Nadine Yanis is in Tallahassee tonight with reaction.
For the last 3 years, News 6 has made it its mission to get results and get to the lawmakers behind those doors to drive change, pushing for stricter texting while driving laws. Florida was one of 4 states who didn't have them, and today's final vote changes that.
The clerk will unlock the machine and the members will proceed to vote.
The sound of a doorbell is opening the door to save thousands of lives on Florida roads.
108 yeas, 7 nays, Mr.
So the bill passes.
And the sounds of applause is the ending of a long road to get results.
I truly feel like real-life Avengers. You know, we're going to be saving lives. I mean, this will make such a huge difference.
Driving change has been a mission of News 6's Matt Austin in our newsroom for 3 years now.
Well, don't forget, we got to go back at least 2 years ago, maybe more, that he had a Don't Text and Drive town hall.
And for Representative Emily Schlossberg, it's been her mission her whole life.
You know, I lost my twin sister in a car crash, and so the reason I'm here is to honor her.
For the second year in a row, she's worked across the aisle with Representative Jackie Toledo, this year on House Bill 107, which started just as a texting while driving bill, but ended in a compromise with the Senate.
We only had texting and driving, and the Senate had the hands-free. So we put the two together, and now we have hands-free in the areas with the most vulnerable people, school zones and work zones.
You are agents of change, and I want to say thank you guys for helping us.
And beyond those doors is the last person that needs to say yes to this bill. It now heads to Governor Ron DeSantis' desk. We have reached out to the governor's office both Friday and today. We are still waiting to hear back, but Representative Toledo seems confident that the governor is going to sign it. We will see. Until then, we're in Tallahassee. I'm Nadine Yanis, getting results, News 6.
Nadine, thank you. To see how our journey to drive change has evolved through the years and to get a timeline of the bill headed to the governor's desk, head to clickorlando.com/driving change. It has been quite the journey.
It's a huge sigh of relief for so many people in our newsroom today, of course, you, and so many people really throughout the state who've been affected by people who've been distracted in driving. So some good news today.
Breaking news alert.
We are just moments away now from history in the state of Florida. The governor will sign a bill making texting and driving a primary offense. I'm Bridget Ellison.
And I'm Justin Mormouth. This is the culmination of years of effort to drive change in our state. News 6 has been behind the movement for years, kick-started by this, a crash that left our colleague and friend Matt Austin with a severe concussion and 10 staples in his head. A crash caused by a driver who was texting. And ever since, Matt's mission, his passion, his push has been to change our state's lackadaisical law.
Our own Matt Austin joins us live now from Sarasota High School, where the governor is expected to sign that bill any moment. And Matt, it's quite the scene building up there behind you.
Yeah, it's a very busy press conference about to take place here. Yes, we made the trip over to Sarasota. They did it at Sarasota High School because schools, high schools, elementary schools, middle schools will all be impacted greatly by this bill, as drivers will not be able to have a phone in their hand as they go through school and construction zones.